Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse, and today we're going to set up Google Cloud Storage, and we're going to get that connected so that it works with WordPress. Last week we got set up so that WordPress would work with Google Cloud SQL. So we did that just on a test account, and what I did earlier today was I set up an official account for my employer, and I created a Cloud SQL database under that account. And today we're going to set up the storage bucket under that account as well. So everything that we had done, that's that's all gone, but we worked out a lot of stuff with that. I did eventually get that working with I think where we left off on Thursday. We had almost everything working, so I ended up getting it working. The last little bit that didn't work was just the ability for the WordPress installation running on Now to connect to that MySQL database. So with Now, the IP addresses vary so much that you can't just set an IP and have it access that. So I had to end up just allowing any IP just to test it and make sure that it worked. And when I did that, it did work. So what we'll do, maybe not in today's stream, depending on how much time it is, but at some point we will set it up so that we can allow lots of different IP addresses, but then also we'll have SSL set up as well, so that really we only allow connections that have the proper keys. So it'll still be secure, but it will also allow us to use Now. So that's the plan. But today we're going to work on storage. We're going to take a break from the SQL stuff. So let me get my headphones on, because I forgot to get this set up. I don't know if you've ever tried to stream or anything or do videos, but there's just a really big difference when you have headphones on and music playing as opposed to when you don't. I feel way more comfortable talking whenever I have the headphones on and the music playing. So I'll get that going. I do want to mention to you all, well, first of all, I want to say hello, because a lot of you are saying hello. So yeah, I am home today. So Christian, yeah, I'll be home today. I'm gonna be in the office tomorrow and the next day. So I have meetings and things going on. Hopefully I'll have enough time to stream though. And all right, cool. Got my Spotify going. Oh, so one more thing I'd like to announce. I'm not going to make a big deal about this all the time, but I'm just going to announce it maybe the first couple of streams, just so that everybody knows. I started a Patreon. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's kind of like crowdfunding for people who create content. So it's like a monthly payment thing, monthly, really like a donation. So if anybody's interested, check out my Twitter, and I have a pinned tweet that has a link to that. I'm not going to put a link to my Patreon on these freeCodeCamp videos. I'll put them on the videos on my own channel. But basically, what I'd like to be able to do is do more things like this. So in addition to my live streams, maybe do some streams of side projects, do some tutorial videos, and maybe even other things. So maybe if more like one-on-one mentoring and things like that. So if also like equipment, right? So when I stream from my house, it's not nearly as good a quality as I do from my office. It'd be nice to be able to get some better equipment, things like that. So if you're interested and you have a little bit to spare, think about maybe supporting me through the Patreon. But what I do now in terms of these live streams is totally free. It's always going to be free. I'm not trying to charge people, especially for those of you who don't have a lot of money. I know how it is starting out and just learning and not really having that much money. So I want to be able to keep doing that and maybe even spend more time doing that. So anyway, so it's there. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. But if you can donate, please do. And even if you can't, if you like retweet or just spread the link around whenever you can, that would be awesome as well. So that's it for now. I don't want to bug you all with the Patreon stuff. So let's get started. And I was just checking real quick to see the chat if there's anything I need to address first. Okay. Oh, Frankie asked about my Twitter and my other channel. I think a link to my Twitter and my other channel is in the description to this video. So check that out. And also, like I'm most active on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, but I'm on like pretty much all the social channels. So you can find me wherever you prefer to be. And I keep my DMs open and stuff, so don't worry about messaging me, and it's totally fine. I can't always get back to you immediately, but I try to answer all my messages. And if you've messaged me and I've never messaged you back, just remind me and message me again, because it's not on purpose. I probably just forgot. Aaron says, "Let's get down to biz." Alright, let me get on this other screen what we need to. Let's see. I had this. There it is. I knew I had it up there. Okay. So this is where we're going to start. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Alright, so you see I was just working on the my SQL stuff. So we're going to switch over to the Google Cloud stuff. And I'm starting my Pomodoro timer on my other screen here. Okay. So here's what I've done so far. All I've done really is just created this FUS main site project. So when you go into my account is franciscan.university, but then within that you can have different projects. So everything we do for this main website, for this project 5, is going to be the FUS main site project. Okay, that helps to keep everything all together. So we're going to make sure we're in that for everything. It's happened before where I've accidentally been in the wrong project, not for Franciscan stuff, but for like side project stuff, and didn't realize it until I'd already set things up. So just be careful of that if you are working on things like this. Alright, so let's navigate to the storage. The storage tab. And let's go ahead and take the Quickstart. So it's not really that difficult, but it'll probably be worth it to go step by step. So my face is covering this Quickstart up. So I'm going to move myself over to here for now, because we won't be on this side of the screen quite as much. And I'm gonna make this a bit bigger for you all. If I make it too big, the UI gets a little weird. So hopefully that's big enough. And so this is it's gonna be pretty simple. We're just gonna create the bucket basically, and then set it up for WordPress. All right, so we're in the right project. Let's continue. These quick starts are really handy for Google Cloud Platform. So if you've never used it and you want to get started, then don't be too intimidated. All right, so let's click Create Bucket, and we're gonna call this FUSWP storage. And now we need to decide, some of our options here. So let's go to this compare storage classes so that we can see, what are the options here. So looks like they all have 99% or more availability. These three are all the same in terms of redundancy, but the multi-regional definitely is better for that. All right, so I think we're either gonna have to go with regional or multi-regional for this. I mean, I would say the bulk of our visits do come from within a region, but we also get visits all over the world as well. Let's see. All right, the costs are pretty similar there. Let's calculate. I'd like to see what monthly costs are. All right. I don't know what Class A and Class B operations are. Creating buckets, uploading objects, deleting permissions. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, let me see. Oh, Harshit says visits doesn't matter for this. Well, I'm in terms of the data being accessed when a user does come to the site. Let's say an image will be served directly from this. So, in terms of how many times like this data is being accessed, uh, I think it is relevant, right? Or from where it's being accessed, it is relevant. All right, let's try. I guess estimated cost $6.50. Actually, that's really cheap. Let me just jack these up a little bit just to get an estimated cost. It's still only. All right, let's see. Like if we have, I don't know, a terabyte. It's still only $28. All right, we're fine. We're definitely fine. I wonder why. You know what? I suppose regional depends on the region for the cost, huh? That doesn't 2231. 28. Yeah, there's the difference between multi-regional and regional is so small in cost. I'm definitely gonna go with the multi-regional. Especially thinking ahead for the future, the university really wants to be able to serve more people in a broader geographic area. So I think this will be um, a better way to go. All right, cool. Let's select multi-regional, and I'm gonna check out the advanced settings. Don't really think I want to change them though. Data's encrypted automatically. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna let Google handle that encryption. 'Cause that's not really my specialty. So I think if I mess with it, I'd be more likely to mess it up than make it better. Okay. All right, cool. So that's it. Like literally, we've set up the storage bucket, right? We could upload files right now. I'm not going to do that. So what I'll do is when I'm in the office tomorrow, I will move over all of the images and PDFs and whatever other files are being used for the main site right now as it is, the old one. I'm going to move all those over to here and keep the file structure the same. I don't know if you'll remember, but the way we're doing it right now is because most of those assets use relative URLs, we were able to bring over the markup as is, and then we just made just a little function that I believe is uses regular expressions in React, and it just prepends the correct URL onto that path. So right now it's prepending franciscan.edu because it works for now. But once we switch over where the domain name is pointed to, it's not going to work anymore. So what we're going to end up doing is prepending whatever URL we have to get access to this stuff. Okay. Let's continue. Let's see what else. Yep, that's it. Literally very simple. Let's close. Alright, I'm very satisfied. That was really easy. So let's close this tutorial. Alright, so we have a bucket. Now, the next step, which I assume will be slightly more difficult, is setting this up to work with WordPress. So if you've never done anything with WordPress before, don't worry. I'm going to go through it. So right now, this is still the version that's hosted on DigitalOcean. I didn't quite get far enough this morning. I was hoping to have it all moved over to now before I started the stream, but I ran out of time. But it's okay because whatever we do on this, when we do migrate to now, we're going to migrate everything over as is. So we're not going to have to duplicate work. So I need to go down. Well, first of all, let me make this bigger. So if you've never seen it before, this is the WordPress admin panel. Let me move my face back over here. So this is the WordPress admin panel, and there's more than one way to upload a plugin to WordPress, but we're going to use the admin panel way. So let's add a new plugin, and we're going to search for this WP Stateless Plugin. So there's actually a plugin that does exactly what we want to do already for WordPress. So this is going to be super useful and save us a lot of time. So really, it's pretty simple, right? We have different modes. We're going to end up going with the stateless mode, but you can use this just to have Google storage be a backup for your WordPress stuff. We can use it as a CDN, so it copies the media files and then serves them from there, or stateless, where it actually stores and serves the media files. So it's basically like a combination of these two. All right. So we have no local meaning like on the same server as WordPress. There's no local storage. That's what we want, because if we're going to serve this with now, basically as if it were like a static site, that's what we need. We need to take out the database, which we're doing, and we need to take out the file storage, which this will do. So let's install this. And activate. Wonderful. And it has a setup assistant, so that's great. So let's check this out. Google login. Alright, which one? This one. Hasn't been verified by Google yet. Only proceed. Yes. Now, like normally that warning would mean something, but I've already researched this app beforehand for the last few weeks, so that's why I clicked go ahead so quickly. If you do see a warning like that with something you're not familiar with, don't just click. Okay. So essentially, we need to give that plugin permission to access our Google storage. Obviously, right? If it needs to be able to upload things to there, then we need to give it access. All right. So default the Google Cloud project is FUS main site. The cloud bucket is FUSWP storage. Great. And cool. So you see it's already grabbed a lot of the stuff for us, which is awesome, right? When I double clicked, I got a drop down and I could see the project we set up. So obviously it is connected. So when you work with WordPress, you can make a post, like a blog post, and you have the option to upload a file or an image right there in the in-browser editor. So normally that upload will just go into a file on your WordPress server. But what's going to happen now that we've installed this plugin is when we upload something, it's going to go to our Google Cloud storage. All right, so let's do it. Let's try to upload something. All right, we're going to select the file. Actually, I have my file thing open. I'll just drop some stuff in there. I will drop this beautiful image that I took of myself earlier. There we go. Alright, so that's uploaded. Let's verify and go to the media library. See that we can actually still see this from WordPress. Oh yeah, look at that handsome guy. I'm just joking, you know. All right, but there's our image. We can check it out and see, like, hey, it's here. All the regular info. Awesome. Um, oh, there's a setting. I actually want to see these settings. Stateless. File URL replacement. Enable. Yes. And there we go. Bucket folder. Yeah, I do. I want it to be WP. WP folder. Alright, so you also are part of this private key. I'm cool with that though, because there's no way you're going to guess the rest of the private key. What is deleted from WordPress? Enable. Yep. Yep. So this is where the URLs will actually point. If we want to, we could change the domain. I may end up doing that at some point, but not today. Then it'd be cleaner. Like it could be like, I don't know, like Franciscan dot, or it could be like cdn.franciscan.edu. Right. That might be something that we'd want to do. Into year and month based folders. Yeah, so that year and month based folder, that's the default WordPress behavior. I would like to keep that. It's somewhat useful, and since that's typical WordPress, I want to keep it like that. All right, let's save those changes. We have great, and check these out. Synchronize local site. Compatibility. Yep, this is what I want to do. This is one of the reasons why I really wanted this plugin. So when you upload a file to WordPress, it automatically makes multiple image sizes, which is very useful. So what we're going to do eventually is we will, within our React components, we'll set it up so that if we're bringing in an image, we'll use source set, and we'll select different sizes of that image, and depending on the screen width, we'll serve the image that is most appropriately sized. So we will save the user a lot of data like that. We'll get faster load times. Normally that's a pain if you have to make the image sizes yourself. But if WordPress is going to do it for us, then we can trust that, assuming that an appropriately sized image was uploaded at first, we'll have all these different sizes to choose from. So definitely going to enable that. So obviously that first one that we just uploaded, it probably won't happen for that. It shows compatibility with image cropping. Say this. I'm going to enable that. Force download method. Support set origin CSS files. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to deal with CSS. So let's save that. Alright, cool. Alright, now let's check our bucket. Let's see if we got anything in our bucket yet. Oh, I could have refreshed right from there. Wasn't looking. We should have something in our bucket. Although it's possible I needed to do the settings first. Oh, here we go. We have a folder now. Let's click it. The folder was 2018. And now we have a folder for the 5th month in 2018. And, whoa, check that out. So here we have, look at this. This is our original image. We have an image now that is 768 pixels by 1098. We have one that's 716 by 1024. We have one that's 210 by 300, 1533 by 1200. We have 150 by 150 and 100 by 100. So all those image sizes have now been created, and you can see, like, this is the original 354 kilobytes. Well, let's say I don't need that one that big. Let's say I'm on a phone and I'm fine with one that's 210 by 300. Now I'm down to 11. That's a huge, huge difference. All right, so that's the benefit that we get from allowing all these different sizes, to come in. See, and they all have their own public links. So let's just check this out. See, we can see that image, right? I can copy and paste this into the chat, and you all should be able to see that image. So this link can now be used to serve images directly on our websites. I don't know. That's pretty cool to me. I don't know how cool it is if you've never worked with WordPress before, but I think it's cool enough that even if you've never worked with WordPress, as long as you've done something with websites before, you should probably be able to appreciate the awesomeness of that. Alright, and I think my timer's about to be up. Yeah, I got about a minute and a half now, so I'm not going to work on the next thing just yet. I'm going to go to the live chat and start answering questions. And let me scroll all the way up to the top so I can so I don't miss any of your questions. Harshad said, so that solution worked that day? Yeah, so earlier in the stream I talked about how I got the SQL database that we made last Thursday to work with WordPress. Harshad had the wonderful idea of, well, why don't you just allow all IP addresses? And I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. Who cares? It's a test database anyway. Like, let's just do it. And that worked. So that was all I needed. Basically, for that test one, I just needed to see that it worked. And once I saw that it worked, I shut down the database, and that was all I needed. Daniel asks, can you use Google Cloud to host your WordPress? Actually, I think you can. I think you can do everything right from Google. We're not going to do the actual WordPress installation. Oh, is that my... Sorry. Sorry if that beep was super loud for you. That was my timer. So let's do the short break now for the live chat. Yeah, so anyway, the answer to the question is yes, I believe you can host WordPress with Google Cloud. I'm not sure exactly how you configure that, but I think it's possible. Gustavo says, got my first invite for a Skype interview, really excited. Wow, congratulations. I'm really excited for you as well. Please let us know how it goes. Frankie, I just saw your comment about you saw it in the show notes. Don't worry about it. It's so easy to miss that stuff. I have so many links in the notes anyway. Like, it's totally understandable. Don't worry about it. Oh, okay. Harshit's making a UI library in connection with our JavaScript.af project. So let me throw that up on the screen really quickly. I'm gonna have to check. I don't remember the link offhand, Harshit, so I'm gonna go into Twitter and grab the link that you gave me. in a DM. Okay, so while this is loading so slowly, I'll read some more questions. Aaron says, Pomodoro for the win. Yeah, for sure. Love Pomodoro. I need to make a video just about how I use Pomodoro, because it's just been so helpful. Christian asks, why did you choose Google Cloud Platform over the other ones out there? Oh, good question. Good question. Let me explain my reasoning. So last week there were some different options that we were going over. So here's why I ended up choosing Google Cloud. I never heard back about whether or not we could get a discount from Microsoft for Azure, but it seemed like the cheapest between Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud, which were the top three that I was considering. It seemed like Google Cloud was going to be the least expensive. So given that, and also that I already had gone through workshops that was using Google Cloud stuff, and I have Francisca that works at Google Cloud. I'm able to send her a DM and ask questions. Uh, that was just huge for me. That the familiarity that I already have, we already had a Google account set up for where I work, and being able to just have that connection to somebody that actually works there. That seemed to me like it kind of just put me a little bit over the top in choosing that. The cool thing about this, though, is that potentially, and with very little work, we could switch over to a different platform. All we'd have to do is copy over the database, and then within WordPress, we just change the WP config file to point to that different database. And of course, we'd have to find a plugin that could connect us to that database, or modify the current plugin. But really, it's because of the way we built this whole project. It's purposely very flexible, and each piece could potentially be replaced without that much work. So if we end up getting a good deal from Microsoft, or somebody totally new comes in and we like them better, then we're good. This is the UI project that Harshit is working on. So basically, this is the UI that we're using for JavaScript.af, and so he's taking it and building out a component library from that. And what'll happen is, I don't think it's set up right now, but you should be able to click on one of these and then get all the markup that you need to use it down here. So the actual code will be there, and these will be React components. So just basic right now, just starting out, I think this is pretty amazing. Really simple interface to be able to go through and see the components. So check it out. I'll paste a link in the chat if any of you want to go to it and play with it a little bit. But definitely let Harshit know what you think. Harshit works so hard on all, just so much stuff, side projects, and on the projects we work on the stream. Like, I don't know how he does it all, but yeah. But please let him know what you think. I think my timer went off. Yep, the timer went off. Let me. You know what? Let me go through the questions, the rest of the questions here, and then we'll see what time it is, and we'll decide whether or not we want to move on now and do some stuff with the SQL database, or because technically we've accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. It just didn't take that long. Everything worked out. So let me know what you all think now in the chat. If you'd like to keep this short and sweet, to the point, and then move on tomorrow, with another stream, or if you'd like to go on a bit longer and maybe branch out, do some stuff with SQL. Either way works for me. Probably the deciding factor for me is going to be how hungry I am once I finish answering these questions. Harshit asks if there's a $3 option on Patreon. I will join if it is. Yeah, so there is on my Patreon. I have different tiers of rewards. I really am totally new to Patreon, so if you have ideas for rewards, please let me know. There's a poll up right now on my Patreon page of like potential rewards, so vote for that. Or if you have a different idea, just let me know. I'm open to anything. I just wanted to have a few options there, just so that you can see, what's possible. But the lowest tier is $3. But you can, like, if you wanted to just donate $1, sorry, you could do that too. I don't think you're limited to just the levels of funding that I've set there. Julio says the SLA is very low. I don't know what SLA stands for. Could you let me know, Julio? And I don't remember what I was doing when you said that and what that was related to. Maybe I was. Maybe that was when I was picking options for the storage bucket. Hey, Bobby says this is awesome. Thanks, Bobby. Ezekiel says hi. Hey, Ezekiel, how's it going? Mad Duchess says check out Jesse's Patreon. And Mad Duchess, thank you for being a patron. I really appreciate that. Javier says, is Google Storage the same as AWS? Okay, so Google Cloud Platform is the same as AWS. They're comparable. So Google Storage would be comparable, I think, to S3 in AWS. So Google Storage is just a piece of Google Cloud Platform. So, but yeah, basically, just with that little distinction, I would say, yeah, they pretty much offer a lot of the same services. Eric is asking for thoughts on / experience with Magento 2. I have no experience with Magento, so I am sorry about that, and I don't know enough about it to even give anything. I mean, it's a what's what I'm looking for, an e-commerce platform, right? See, I'm not even sure what it is. I believe it's an e-commerce platform, but that's where my knowledge stops. So I don't want to try to pretend and like I know what I'm talking about there. If anybody else has any thoughts or experience with Magento 2, please let Eric know. Mad Duchess says, I was first to donate because you rock, Jesse. Yeah, for sure. I was super excited when I saw that. That was awesome. So thank you. I was yesterday. I wasn't at my computer for most of the day because it was Memorial Day here in the United States. That's a national holiday, so a lot of people don't have to work that day. And so usually we have like picnics. So my family Um, on my mom's side, I have a really big family, and they all live kind of in the same area. So we had a outdoor picnic, and it was a lot of fun. But like I was getting notifications on my phone and trying to answer as best I could. And it was really sunny out, so I'm trying to like shade my eyes so I could see my screen. But I saw that, and I was just super excited. So anyway, thanks again, Matt Duchess. Oh, so that reminds me, if any of you use a different name on YouTube and you have a preference, let me know whether you want me to call you by your real name or your YouTube name. I'm fine either way, but I just want you to be comfortable with what I say. So if you have a preference, let me know. Michael Creel says one good thing about my stuttering connection is that I get blackmail worthy stills of Jesse when the buffering occurs. Yeah, I'll. It might be fun to see some of those. I'm a little bit scared to see some of them, but that might be funny. There we go. Actually, how about this? One of my reward tiers on Patreon will be you get access to all those blackmail worthy stills from the live streams. CJ says, I'm new to FreeCodeCamp and I just created my profile today. All right. Well, congratulations on that and welcome to FreeCodeCamp. So there's so much to FreeCodeCamp. So definitely the core of FreeCodeCamp is freeCodeCamp.org and those lessons. That's where it all started. Um, those are super helpful to go through those. But then there's so much supplementary material with the Medium publication and the YouTube videos and what else? We have that like Wikipedia type thing. I can't remember what we call it. That just has a wealth of information on a ton of different coding and tech related topics. There's a forum. I'm sure I'm probably missing something else that we do. There's a newsletter, but there's just so much. So please take advantage of all these free resources, and it's definitely helped me to become a better coder. Javier says, "Lucky you got a sunny day. We have a rainy day here at NC. At NC, is that North Carolina or somewhere else?" Okay, it is North Carolina. All right, cool. Yeah, I thought it was gonna rain. It looked like it was gonna rain for a little bit, and then it cleared up and it was fine. It was a really nice day. It was warm. Kids were swimming. So yeah, it ended up being really nice. I actually got some sun. I as a programmer, I rarely get out. Right, that's the stereotype. But I was actually out in the sunlight yesterday. I mean, I got more sun yesterday than I had in like the last 2 weeks combined. Um, all right, cool. So I've gotten to the bottom of the chat. So let's see what time it is. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll finish up here. Keep this stream on topic for once, um, and then yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll work on getting everything combined together, like basically production ready tomorrow. And I'm not sure. I had said before the launch date is June 4th, but potentially it might get pushed back. I don't really want it to get pushed back, but it may be reasonable. I had expected to have a little bit more help in terms of like data migration and cleaning up data than I did. So my original estimates were based on that help, which I didn't have. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I suppose it is better to launch it and have everything work than to try to rush it. So I'm still going to try to do as much as I can before the 4th, but we may not launch then. Either way, I still would like to have all the setup of the database and everything, squared away. All right, cool. Oh, Harshit says back from dinner eating ice cream. Ice cream. I've been on a diet for the last month, so ice cream sounds so good right now. um, all right. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm actually, I'm really happy that everything went perfectly. That rarely happens. Um, I'm really gonna try to be back tomorrow for a stream. I do have some meetings tomorrow. Um, I can't even remember what time they are. I got to check my calendar. So I'll do my best to let everyone know early on in Twitter and on Instagram what time I'm going to stream. Hopefully, I can get it scheduled early so y'all can get the notifications on YouTube. Um, yeah, so until then, uh, have a great day, and thanks again for watching.